At last, the holidays are here, and so is Ridgeland. To shop, dine, and celebrate responsibly. Check out Rapid in Ridgeland and learn more at visitridgeland.com. #VisitMS responsibly. Hello and welcome to this episode of Maine and Mulberry. I'm your host, Annabelle, and today I'm so excited to have with us Rachel Riley. She's the Director of Communications for Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Rachel, thank you so much for making the time to be with us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Anna.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to learn all about the Valley Forge area with you today, but to kind of kick things off for our listeners, maybe you can share with us really where you're located geographically within the state of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. So I know some folks sometimes get confused when they hear Valley Forge and Montgomery County or King of Prussia, because Valley Forge is actually not a town, it's a park, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But King of Prussia is an area, and Montgomery is located in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So we are actually located in southeastern PA. So we're about 18 minutes or so from downtown Philadelphia, so a quick trip from the PHL airport actually, but we also are connected through some major thoroughfares and really easily accessible highways. So you can get to New Jersey from here, you can get to New York, you can get to Western Pennsylvania. So great road trip for folks coming out from your way, or an easy and quick flight as well into that PHL airport location.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, and like you were saying, a lot of us recognize you for Valley Forge, but it's interesting to know that's really King of Prussia is really where you're located.
That's right. So Valley Forge National Historical Park that's where that name comes from. And that name is nationally and internationally known. And that's why people always refer to Valley Forge. That's why where we get our namesake, and we use that moniker because it's so well known nationally.
Well known. That's right.
But it actually we actually cover all of Montgomery County, which is the third largest county in Pennsylvania. We're actually bigger than some states. We've got lots of residents here and so much to see and do. And the other reason we go with Valley Forge is there's about 18 Montgomery counties in the country. So to avoid any confusion, there's only one Valley Forge. And again, it's known throughout our nation and of course overseas too. So that's why
That's true. That's true. Oh, wow. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a town that's very rich in history, right? We were starting to touch on that. I've been told that I can't come without visiting Valley Forge's National Historical Park, right? That's a must-stop.
Absolutely. Probably one of your first stops. It's right in that major thoroughfare, so it's easily accessible for you from the highway or from the airport. Great first stop for you on your tour of Valley Forge in Montgomery County, PA. For those who aren't familiar, Valley Forge National Historical Park is the site where General George Washington and the Continental Army encamped during that harsh winter, 1777 to 1778. And it actually is considered the birthplace of the modern American Army because that's where they really started drilling with soldiers, like going through drills and training them. That was the first time in our history they really did that. And though no battle was fought here in the park, it's so well known because, again, of those drilling and trainings that happened, but also because it really ended up being a turning point in the Revolutionary War for our country. So huge historic, piece of story here. And then it also connects to, we have actually about a dozen historic sites throughout Montgomery County. And we use our Patriot Trails to connect those for folks. So definitely start at the park, but there's some other really cool sites throughout our county. Old historic homes. Of course, you can see General George Washington's headquarters in the park, but lots of other really historic buildings throughout. There's Pottsgrove Manor, different things throughout the county to really kind of tell that whole story of the history that happened here. There's other sites that George Washington visited. So really a cool place. And there's even something fun for the kids that we did. We have a comic book, award-winning comic book. It's called Patriot Tales. And what we did was we imagined, what if a couple of kids went back in time and met George Washington to help kids get out of the textbook, get out of the routine, learn about history in a different way. So we used that fun comic book feature. We've got about 4 editions so far, and we're going to keep going with that. So even if you've got the kids,
How
Yeah, we've had people
creative.
road trip out here to the park and use that. And we've had teachers all across the country actually contact us to use
Yeah.
that. It's a great, great way to learn about the history, and it's super fun too.
Absolutely. So it sounds like we've got to keep our eyes peeled for those historical markers throughout the area. And it looks like right behind you, we might be getting a glimpse of the park as well. Is that right?
That is
so beautiful.
Of course, it's fall here. Those leaves are pretty much all gone now in November. We've had some cold weather and some storms that kind of blew those leaves away. But fall, any time of year, really is gorgeous in the park. Fall is one of my favorites. Love seeing the fall foliage throughout Montgomery County, especially the park throughout the fall.
As we're kind of getting into December and the Christmas spirit, are you seeing any snow flurries yet? Have you gotten any snow?
We are not yet, and actually the last couple of winters I feel like have been a little mild, but we're hoping to see some this year, and usually out this way. December's a little early for snow for us. Okay. We can get snow up until March, even April. So we'll see what happens this year, but the structure that you're seeing in the photo here is actually the National Memorial Arch. So that obviously wasn't there when George Washington and his soldiers were encamped, but it was constructed afterwards as a, in memoriam of everything that happened there and the soldiers that lost their lives, because of course there were thousands upon thousands of soldiers encamped here. And you can see the huts when you go through. There's trails for you. It's pet friendly, just keep your dog on a leash. So lots for everyone in the family to enjoy at the park.
Oh, so many wonderful things to see, and kind of continuing in that spirit. Valley Forge and Montgomery County offers numerous ways to get outside with the family and enjoy some outdoor activities. So Rachel, maybe you can kind of share some of those with us, some of those outdoor activities that would be really fun to do.
Absolutely. One of our main attractions are our trails. We have almost 100 miles of trails throughout the county, and that's including some in the park, but it really goes throughout the entire county and beyond. I mean, you could bike throughout our entire region using some things like one of my favorites is the Schuylkill River Trail. You can bike, you can hike, you can jog, you can, again, bring the dog. You can do lots of different things, skateboard. So tons of different things to do on those trails. And what we did actually was, of course, we promote those trails, great way to get outside and really see the county. But also we put together these digital bike routes. So we call it Bike Montgo. You can pull it up on our website, valleyforge.org, or we have a free mobile app. It's called Visit Valley Forge, and you can check it out there. It's turn-by-turn directions. There's one through the park, but there's also ones through different areas where you can see beautiful homes and gardens, take some challenging hills in Bridgeport. I personally don't recommend that one because I can't do the hills, but bring your bike with you.
You and me both, Rachel.
Bridgeport is awesome. You should definitely check it out, but I personally, I'm weak. I have no stamina. I can't do the hills. But
it sounds like you can see some really beautiful sights, kind of see some of the local spots too, right? Yeah,
absolutely. And you can use the trails. A lot of it connects you to some low stress, low traffic streets too. So this has been great this year, of course, to get folks out, get your mental health going, get your exercise going. So some great spots to see, and then hop off the trail. And, we've got tons of restaurants, quaint little shops. You can find one-of-a-kind unique gifts in there for folks throughout the year. So definitely some really cool places to check out. And of course, we have breweries, wineries, and distilleries too along there.
That's right. Oh yes, so many wonderful fun things. And I was curious about the snow because I've heard you can ski in your area too, right? When the snow falls, you can ski and sleigh rides. That's what I was curious most about with Christmas coming.
The sleigh rides are usually more dependent on actual snow. Yes, that's right. And a great time to do that, of course, is Christmas, but definitely throughout the winter too. At Spring Mountain, whether it snows or not, they do have some fake snow. You can ski, you can snowshoe, you can cross-country ski there, you can snow tube. So definitely a fun place for the folks and family and kids.
So it sounds like if we're kind of on the more adventurous side of things, we should check out Spring Mountain then.
Oh, there is so much for folks who want some adventure, indoor or outdoor. There's so much to do here in Montgomery County. We have something called Ifly, which is indoor skydiving right in King of Prussia. I personally have done it. It is amazing. It's super fun.
It's real.
You might think you would be scared or you wouldn't be able to do it. I'm telling you, these instructors are awesome. They get you trained super quick. You go in, and kids of all ages are doing this. So young as like 9 and up through, into your 70s, you can do it as long as you're healthy and your ticker's in good shape. They suit you up, and it is an amazing, one-of-a-kind experience. I highly recommend it. Super fun for families and groups who are coming to town.
Something you won't forget, that's for sure, right?
Definitely put it on your bucket list. Plus, it is so incredible to watch the trainers. They show off a little bit and do some tricks. Even just that is worth it to go. If you're not going to participate, go check those guys out. It's very fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. And speaking of things that you won't forget, I've been told that there is a shopping Mecca in King of Prussia. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Just a little iconic place called King of Prussia Mall. You may have heard of it. We like to boast here in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, PA, that we have the best shopping in the country. And one of the reasons for that is that epic Mecca King of Prussia Mall. So they are huge. They are largely known for their luxury. Of course, you can find tons of other things there. Holidays are a great time to visit. Their decor is out of this world. Talk about luxury. There are some really home goals there for holiday decor. But yeah, King of Prussia Mall, definitely a place I would highly recommend checking out. They've got more than 400 stores. Again, a big focus on luxury. They have a brand new wing. Actually, it's only a couple years old.
So no shortage of options then. 400 stores, my word.
Yep.
And some square footage then.
Tons of square footage. It's huge. It's great for exercise. I mean, you really could just walk that mall and get some good exercise in, even if you're just window shopping. But of course, we want you to spend some money here too. And they have restaurants too. So you really can make it an all day, a weekend trip, just in the King of Prussia area. And there's tons nearby too. There's King of Prussia Town Center. The park is close by. Valley Forge Casino Resort, and the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center isn't too far away too. They often have tons of events and shows that people can check out.
Maybe we can take a second to talk about some of those things. The town center, I've heard, has some events, right? It's a pretty nice place to visit.
Yeah, the town center is one of those unique, those newer, modern, residential combined with commercial, spaces. So folks live there. There's beautiful apartments there, and then it's very walkable. So there's restaurants, there's shops, there's tons to do right there, and they love to decorate for the holidays too. And throughout the summer, they normally have like different concerts and events. So definitely keep an eye out for what's happening. There's always something to do at the town center.
Yeah.
And that goes the same for the casino resort and the expo center too. I mean, there's live music, there's comedians at the casino resort, and of course the hotel's right there too, and the casino, and they have online sports betting now as well. And like I said, the expo center, tons of different shows come through there, from crafts to comic book shows to live animal stuff to it's really fun. Always something to do over there as well in Oaks.
That's so great. Oh, that's awesome. So I'm glad you brought up the casino as well, because so much to do during the daytime, but also at nighttime too. You've got a lot of activities and things you can be doing. I'm talking all of these wonderful things that you're listing off here. So many wonderful things to do. I'm honestly working up an appetite though, Rachel. Maybe you can share with us some of the dining options too that we can expect to experience when we come to visit you in the Valley Forge, Montgomery County area.
Definitely. So we have 1,600 restaurants in Montgomery County. So options are not a problem here.
Wow.
And of course, as at the mall there, they alone have about 50 restaurants. King of Prussia Town Center has tons. You might have heard of a place called Founding Farmers. They're actually based in DC, so they have locations here. A lot of really well-known, high-profile brands choose that King of Prussia area to have one of their partner restaurants set up. Definitely a great spot for restaurants like that. But there's also some, cozy cafes and different spots, that you really won't find anywhere else. We've got the Lucky Well in Ambler, and that's actually run by a pretty famous chef, Chef Chad Rosenthal. He was on one of those famous chef cooking shows. He was one of the contestants. Awesome food there. And even out into, western Montgomery County, Pottstown, we've got some newer restaurants out there, all types of cuisine, Italian, French, Mediterranean, Indian, Chinese, anything you can think of. You know, we've got it right here for you. So bring it.
My mouth is watering now, Rachel. I'm getting really excited.
Yeah, and lots of options throughout the day. You know, breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner. You know, late nights, apps. We got tapas, small plates. So definitely.
And you started to mention earlier too about the breweries. I'd like to talk about that for a second.
Yes. So a lot of places all across the country have like ale trails or wine trails. And what we did in Montgomery County was we put together our Montgo makers, because, you know, what really makes us unique, and of course, anywhere you go, are the people who are crafting those beverages for you. So we actually have more than 30 award-winning breweries, wineries, and distilleries. Large portion of that's mostly craft breweries. We do have several wineries, and we even have a couple distilleries here, one of which is in an old historic firehouse. So that one is Five Saints Distilling. Check it in Norristown.
Awesome.
The other one is in Lansdale, Boardroom Spirits. They are really well known for their cocktails. Boy, they come up with some super creative, delicious cocktails. I would definitely check that one out too. But the cool thing is our Montgo Makers app. So you can download, again, it's free, Montgo Makers app. And when you're here, you can check into those different places, and then it earns you points, and you can eventually get rewards like some swag from us, you know, a hat, all the way up to a VIP tour of one of the places if you get to a certain level. So definitely download that app. It'll help you kind of navigate through.
That sounds like a wealth of knowledge there for us to enjoy that. Yes, and you're kind of giving us some local taste too. I'm so thankful for those recommendations. That really makes the trip. You know, I would love to know though, Rachel, if I'm putting you on the spot, if you had to pick out at least one of your favorite places to eat though, that it's just a must on our bucket list. Could you share with us one of those places?
Oh boy, you're making
I know it. I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I know I already mentioned Founding Farmers, but I do have to say that one is quite delectable. And I know I also mentioned Lucky Well too, but boy, I've had their stuff at different events throughout the county, and so delicious. I mean, I highly recommend it, but you really can't go wrong. I mean, there are too many favorites to choose just one, I really have to say.
Absolutely. Maybe if we have a sweet tooth, that might be something a little out of character too, something that we can go find to get a little something sweet.
Boy, can I tell you, Annabelle, we have quite a few bakeries throughout. Now, there's restaurants, of course, that serve desserts too. I think Normandy Farm is a hotel and conference center, and their restaurant is called Farmer's Daughter. They are so well known for their desserts because these are it's going to be so beautiful you might not even want to eat it, but you still will, and it's delicious.
Snap a picture, right? We got to snap a picture.
Oh, yep. Very Insta-worthy. But we also have some bakeries like Collegeville Bakery, Corpalese. They're known for their Pete's tomato pies. And then Lochelle's Bakery is really well known. They're located in Hatboro, PA. They whip up some of the best cookies and desserts. And I mean, just check it out. I'm getting hungry thinking about it. I can't even think straight.
I know it. I'm salivating. I'm getting too excited. All right, so Rachel, tell us a little bit more about family-friendly things that we can do, because I've got two little ones, and I'm really excited to bring them and to come and see you guys. So kind of share some of those family-friendly activities that we can do when we come.
We've got you covered, Anna. I've got a couple little ones myself, 10-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we just love a few places here in Montgo, and those would be Legoland Discovery Center. That's in Plymouth Meetings, right? It's actually right in the mall, so awesome spot to take the kids. They've got a ride, they've got building blocks, they've got a laser thing that you go through, and really cool setups made by their master builders, so definitely check that out. The Elmwood Park Zoo is so adorable and quaint, and they have so many different types of animals. I just love going there, and they have great events throughout the year, whether it's Halloween, you can trick or treat, or they actually right now for the holidays have their wild lights set up. It's more than 1 million lights throughout the zoo, so you can go at night, see the animals, and see all the lights. Super cool and fun for the holidays. Plus it's outside, so it's perfect for right now, and definitely safe to do, you know, social distancing, wearing a mask, all that good stuff. And then Our John James Audubon Center. So actually, this is a brand new 18,000 square foot museum and art center located right in Oaks, PA. And for those who aren't familiar, John James Audubon is a very famous ornithologist who wrote Birds of America. And he's actually credited with some of the first bird banded testing right here in Oaks, PA. So definitely check that out. Beautiful artwork. You can learn so much about birds. There's plenty of trails, about 5 miles of trails around that museum that you can check out, and super fun for the kids. There's an outdoor fledgling trail area where the kids can play. It's almost like a mini playground. You can check out the eggs, you can check out a bird's nest, and there's even a little mini zip lining that you can do. And the zoo has zip lining too, just FYI.
Oh, that's so fun. So many wonderful things to do. And I'm thinking about my husband too. You guys offer some golf, I hear.
We have 50 top-ranked historic golf courses here in Montco, PA. We're actually one of the largest concentrations of golf courses in this area. So I would definitely check it out on our website. You can go to montcogolf.com, and we do try to put together packages for folks who might be visiting to golf. So definitely recommend hitting up the greens and getting on the fairway there. Lots of your hubs to do.
Tickled about that for sure.
Bring your clubs. You can rent some here too.
There we go. So, Rachel, kind of tell us some options when it comes to planning our stay. There's a lot of options of where we can stay when we come to visit you, right?
Absolutely. We have 80 hotels here in Montgomery County, and some of the greatest parts of those hotels are not only are they world class, lots of higher end brands that you would recognize, Hilton, Marriott, etc. But we also, a lot of them have free parking, which is huge. Not going to get that in a lot of major cities.
Yeah, that's great.
We're pretty close to. And we're also so easily accessible with affordable rates. So definitely some great options for you to check out, and all across the county, pretty close to, some of those areas in the Valley Forge Park, King of Prussia. So definitely some great options. And we also offer an experience, our hashtag Make It Montco experience. You can get up to $300 worth of a digital coupon booklet through our app if you book that hotel package. So you get an affordable night, you get free parking, and you get some deals for you and the family, whoever you're bringing. So a great deal to come and stay.
Make a mental note about that, right? You gave us a good tip.
Absolutely.
So, Rachel, you've mentioned a couple of times now about being pet friendly, and I love that because we've got a dog, and I'd love to bring her along too. And so kind of tell us a little bit more. Are you famous for a particular dog show? Is that right?
You may have heard of the National Dog Show, which airs on NBC actually every Thanksgiving. I know for a lot of folks, including my family, it's a big tradition for us to watch that. We have a dog too. And so actually we've realized that not only do we have that, all those dogs, those famous pups, are staying here in Montgomery County, PA. And we realized there's this trend of people who want to travel with their furry friend. They don't want to board them. They don't want someone else to watch them. And you can do that here.
Our fur babies, right? They're our fur babies.
We call it Embark Montco. So you can check out embarkmontco.com. Little play on words there. Bring your furry friend. Not only are half of our hotels pet friendly, but we also, again, have those trails, and some of our restaurants too are very pet friendly. More in the seasonal, warmer seasons, because a lot of that pet friendly stuff happens outside. So
True.
Just something to consider when you're planning your trip, but definitely something to check out.
That's awesome. That is so neat. Thank you for sharing that. So, Rachel, kind of tell us a little bit about, as a local, I've heard you've got some really great arts and culture in your area, and I'd love to dive into that for a minute if we can.
Absolutely. I know I talked about the John James Audubon Center, which has some art to it, but we have actually 200 arts and culture venues here in Montgomery County, PA. Everything from local playhouses where you can catch different shows, comedy acts, musicals, plays, to art centers and galleries where you can see local artists on display. So I would definitely recommend folks checking out some of those studios and some of those theaters. You're going to get Broadway caliber acts right here in Valley Forge in Montgomery County.
Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, make another mental note, right?
Your list just keeps getting longer. You got to stay for like a week, I think.
That's right. We got to plan a week.
There you go.
Well, Rachel, I appreciate so much of what you shared with us today. I do want to ask you, though, where is the best place for our visitors to go and really kind of prepare for their trip to come and visit you in the Valley Forge, Montgomery County area in Pennsylvania to really map out their trip?
Yeah, check out valleyforge.org. We also have live chat while you're navigating our site. So hit us up. We'll be happy to answer your questions. And then even when you come on site, if you're going to hit the park first, that's a great place to stop because our welcome center is located in the park. So we can get you set up for some recommendations throughout the rest of the county as well.
Perfect. That's so helpful. And you mentioned a couple of apps that we definitely need to download. Say those again.
That is our free Visit Valley Forge app. So that will, again, showcase the entire destination. And then the Monco Makers app, if you're really into the breweries, the wineries, the distilleries, check that one out too.
That's awesome. Rachel, we appreciate your time and insight so much today. You've been a wonderful tour guide and gotten us all excited to come and visit you as soon as we can. So Rachel, we really do appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. Happy to tell you about it. Can't wait to see you come visit.
That's right. That's right. We got to pack up and head on now.
Road trip.
That's right. All right. Thank you. So, all right, guys, we hope you really enjoyed this episode of Maine and Mulberry. Until next time, I'm Annabelle.
Did you know subscribing helps keep our content free? Click the subscribe button now.